This might just be the cleanest and toughest roof rack you can put on a Patrol. But is it actually worth the price? Tonight I'm installing it, showing the finished setup and giving my honest review, the pros and the cons. Let's go back in time to a few weeks ago when I picked it up. So today guys, we are down in Hastings, which is a long way, and as you can see I've got the trailer hooked up because I've got some new parts for the GQ. We've got a rear wing in here, and then we've got some side rails in here. So we've got a bit of work to do. Now for you guys, the next part's probably going to be 5 seconds before we're back in the shed. For me, I've got a 3 and a bit hour drive, so I better get into it. It didn't take long to unwrap and discover a free sticker. Cheers boys! As anyone would be, I was keen as mustard to sit the rails on the car and see how they looked. Gives you a bit of an idea what it's going to look like. The kit comes with all the fasteners you need, as well as pinch weld for rail bases and edging of the rear wing. For this setup, I'm making my own crossbars out of rectangular gal. I'm doing this to save a bit of coin, and as I plan on further modifying these down the track with a cool idea in mind. I will be revealing all costs associated with the rack at the end of this video, so stay tuned. Now let's go ahead and make up some crossbars. The quick dry paint from Bunnings. The fitment so far is actually really clean and nice and easy to install. Alrighty, so we're just going to do a quick walk around because it's just been raining non-stop. As you can see, I'm currently wet and it's just stopped a little bit right now, so we'll quickly show you what I've done. So we've got the rails up there now, got the rear wing on, and we've just got 2 crossbars in place. So we're going to make more during the week. I just needed it solid enough so I can still drive it to work. But yeah, that's how it's going to sit pretty much. I think roughly about where it is there is where I want it. No roof rack is complete without a forward mounting light bar in my opinion. Do you agree? With the rack all bolted up, let's see how it looks. Now that the roof rack is installed, here's my honest review. The guys at Tier 1 have nailed the design. It's clean, it's tough, and it suits the Patrol really well. One small thing that I did notice was I wish that the rails came further forward. They actually sit back quite a bit, and that rail being longer would mean I'd be able to sit the rack a bit further back to get that full potential out of the rear wing. Now I get why they've probably done it, probably designed for rooftop tents, but a longer rail option would be unreal. Build quality though, this is where it really does stand out. Australian made, solid materials, you can tell straight away that it's built properly. And it's great that you also know that you're supporting a local business. Everything's included, including your fasteners, instructions, and it's packaged really well. And the best part is you don't have to buy everything at once. You can build this to suit your setup, which is a big win. The install was straightforward, basic tools and nothing crazy. If you've got a bit of mechanical knowledge, you'll be sweet. One thing I really like is the design. These dimple dies aren't just for looks. They're actually adding strength as well and keeping this setup a lot lighter because of that. So the rack stays slim, keeps the center of gravity lower, which is exactly what you want off-road. Same goes for the rear wing. It looks tough, but it's actually really practical too. It's actually got a slight rise along the back here, which actually helps push rainwater off to the sides. Meaning, when you open the rear doors, you're not gonna get water running inside and soaking everything, which I really hate. And with a 270 awning, it actually ties everything together at the rear, which is perfect for camping setups. Mounting points are another plus. Heaps of options depending on your setup, especially if you're running a rooftop tent. Now, something to be aware of, these rails aren't load rated yet. Not a deal breaker for me, they feel strong, but it's definitely something to keep in mind. And at the end of the day, your roof has limits. Dealing with the guys was actually really easy and they were super helpful even after the purchase. Now, pricing, it's not the cheapest, but when you factor in Aussie manufacturing, materials and design, it makes sense. And again, you don't have to drop all your cash up front. I only bought what I needed. I'm not sponsored, this is just my honest take, but overall, I am genuinely happy with this setup. It balances looks and functionality really well. Will it suit your build? Well, that depends on your setup. For me, it ticks all the boxes. So now it's time for the cost breakdown, and I've got my phone here just so I've got some notes to remember costing and all that sort of stuff. So the side rails and rear wing normally are $950 together. So I think it's $700 for the side rails and then another $250 for the rear wing, which comes with all the fasteners included. Because I drove all the way down to Hastings and I used cash, I was able to get that all for $870, which I believe was in an older stock. That did save me a little bit of money there. I also, of course, as you know, made my own crossbars. So the material for that was one piece of gal, which was $44, which included cutting into 3 pieces so I could bring it home. And then of course I had to buy additional bolts because the kit comes with bolts which suits tier 1 crossbars, but because I've made my own crossbars and they're a bit thicker, I had to buy longer length bolts. So I bought 50mm long bolts, which come to a total of $15.27, which is for a box of like 50 of them, I believe. Of course, it worked out cheaper to get more than just a couple, as it usually does. And I was able to use the washers and nylock nuts still out of the kit, so I didn't have to buy any additional things there. Now, bringing that all together, that brings the whole rack setup itself to $929.27, so $930 basically for that whole setup on the car, which I think is pretty good because that pretty much brings that whole rack setup under $1,000. There's not a lot of racks in good quality racks on the market that you can get for under that. There are a few, but not a lot. So I think that's pretty reasonable in price, really, when you think about it. Australian made, so yeah. You will notice, obviously, I do have an XDM light bar up there, so that's a 46-inch slimline light bar. So I'm gonna add that into the pricing as well, because that is a part of that setup. You don't need it, but it's something that I put on there because I wanted a light bar. I haven't got front mount spotties anymore because of the new Bullbar design, so I wanted a big light bar up the top there for a lot of nighttime driving. The light bar itself was $130, $129.99, $130, and of course the kit only comes with small tiny brackets, which meant I could only mount the light bar on top of my crossbars, which looked terrible. Couldn't have it, so I had to buy additional brackets, which brought that light bar forward, as you've probably seen. So it sits at further forward at the same height of where it's mounted from, and of course they were an additional $40. So that light bar and brackets was $170, and I am yet to wire that up as well. So I'm going to make my own wiring harness for that. Maybe I might do a video on that. I don't know. If people are interested, let me know in the comments below. By the time you add in all the materials and all that to do that, plus the bolts to mount it up and all that sort of stuff, we're going to say the 200 bucks for the light bar setup, which brings grand total to $1,129.27, or $1,130 for that whole setup currently on the car, which again, I think that's actually pretty reasonable, especially considering the pricing of some things these days. I mean, I've seen the prices on some of the light bars out there now, and they get pretty expensive. Don't get me wrong, they're really good quality, but the pricing really does start adding up. So when you think about it from that perspective, this setup is relatively cheap and more budget friendly in comparison to other setups out there currently on the market. So yeah, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are about this setup. Is this an option for you? Is this something that you would consider going on your car, or have you looked at alternative options? Let us know. I'd be keen to hear your thoughts and read all the comments. For me personally, I absolutely love the look and I love the functionality of it. I think it's going to be really well suited for what we do with a lot of tough wheeling and stuff like that, which we're yet to show what's done on Dad's car, but we've been pretty busy in transforming it into more of a tough wheeler so we can hit the harder tracks now, which you guys will probably see in an upcoming episode very soon. It looks pretty cool, and yeah, it's definitely changed the look of the car and how it's going to handle on those tougher tracks. So the goal is we're going to start doing a few more tougher tracks in the coming months after our big announcement, which we're not going to let you know what that is yet, but if you can see in the background, it might give you a little hint. Anyway, I am absolutely stoked with that new Tier 1 setup, and I think overall I give it the big thumbs up. It really has transformed the look of the Patrol. It's given it a bit more of an aggressive, tough look, I reckon, and of course the functionality of it. And just to be clear, that roof rack setup isn't done yet. I've still got a lot more I want to do with it. That's all I'm doing for now because of what's happening, but I'm going to be modifying that further down the track. As I stated earlier in the video with those crossbars, I'm going to be looking at incorporating like a solar panel in those crossbars, and I'll explain more on that later. I've still got to mount my Max tracks up there, and I've got my 270 awning, which I'm going to try and make up a quick release system for, and I'm going to be looking at mounting a shower tent, again, quick release setup on that as well. So there's more to be done there, and there'll be future episodes coming out on that. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video and this bit of a review of the Tier 1 setup, and like I said, let me know in the comments your thoughts on it, and have you already got a Tier 1 setup, and how do you rate it on your vehicle? Thanks again for watching. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Till the next video, we'll see you then. Cheers guys.